On July 28, 1945, a B-25 bomber crashed into the Empire State Building. The impact severed the cables of an elevator carrying a woman named Betty Lou Oliver. She fell 75 floors. She survived. And to this day, it remains the longest elevator fall anyone has ever lived through. On July 28, 1945, a Saturday morning in New York City, a B-25 Mitchell bomber flew into the side of the Empire State Building. The pilot, Lieutenant Colonel William Smith, was navigating through thick fog, flying far too low, when the 10-ton aircraft slammed into the north face of the building between the 78th and 80th floors at approximately 200 miles per hour. The impact tore a hole 18 feet wide and 20 feet tall in the building's facade. One of the plane's engines passed entirely through the building and out the other side, landing on a rooftop across the street. The other engine fell down an elevator shaft. Burning fuel poured through the building. 14 people were killed, including the 3 crew members on the plane. Among the survivors was a woman named Betty Lou Oliver. She was a 20-year-old elevator operator working on the 80th floor. When the plane struck, she was thrown from her station by the impact and suffered severe burns from the burning aviation fuel that flooded the corridor. Rescuers placed her on a stretcher and carried her to an elevator to bring her down to the lobby for medical treatment. They did not know that the elevator cables had been damaged by the crash. When the elevator began to descend, the weakened cables snapped. Betty Lou Oliver fell 75 floors in a broken elevator car. The fall covered approximately 1,000 feet. At freefall speed, the descent would have taken roughly 8 seconds. But the elevator car did not fall at freefall speed. As it plummeted down the shaft, the car compressed the air beneath it, creating a cushion of increasing air pressure that slowed the descent. Additionally, the severed elevator cables piled up at the bottom of the shaft, creating a coiled spring of steel that the car landed on. The combination of compressed air and coiled cable turned what should have been a fatal impact into a survivable one. The elevator car hit the bottom of the shaft with enormous force, but not the instantaneous, lethal force of a free fall onto solid ground. Betty Lou Oliver was critically injured but alive. She was pulled from the wreckage of the elevator car in the basement of the Empire State Building with a broken pelvis, broken back, and broken neck. She was rushed to a hospital. Against all medical expectations, she survived. Her fall of 75 stories, over 1,000 feet, remains the Guinness World Record for the longest survived elevator fall. No one before or since has fallen farther in an elevator and lived. Betty Lou Oliver recovered from her injuries over the following months. She lived until 1999, dying at the age of 74. She rarely spoke publicly about the accident. When asked about it in later years, she said simply that she didn't remember the fall itself, only waking up at the bottom. The Empire State Building was repaired within months. The structural damage, though dramatic, was superficial. The building's steel frame had absorbed the impact without compromising its integrity. Engineers noted that the building actually swayed slightly on impact and then returned to its original position exactly as it was designed to do. The accident led to significant changes in aviation regulations. The Civil Aeronautics Administration, the predecessor to the FAA, established strict rules about minimum flying altitudes over cities and visibility requirements for urban airspace. The fog that obscured Lieutenant Colonel Smith's vision that morning would, under modern regulations, have grounded his flight. The accident also influenced the design of the World Trade Center, which was built 25 years later. The engineers who designed the Twin Towers specifically considered the possibility of an aircraft impact. They designed the buildings to withstand the impact of a Boeing 707, the largest commercial aircraft at the time. On September 11, 2001, the buildings were struck by Boeing 767s, which were larger and carried more fuel than the 707s the towers were designed to withstand. But that is another story. The Empire State Building still stands. The hole in its north face was repaired long ago. There is no plaque or marker on the 79th floor commemorating the crash. The only permanent reminder is a small display in the building's lobby, easily overlooked by the millions of tourists who visit each year. And somewhere in the basement of the building, there is an elevator shaft where, on a foggy Saturday morning in 1945, a 20-year-old woman fell 75 floors and walked away alive. If you found this fascinating, subscribe for more stories like this. We post new videos every week.